happened a lot this year. My voice is a little strained, but and I'm normally not at a loss for words. I don't have a lot to say other than I just couldn't be more proud of our team. That's a good football team we played, and I feel like, to let them basically score on the first play of the game pretty much, you get down 7-0, and then our guys never flinched. I mean, our defense today, they dominated, which we needed them to. We did 7 sacks. We held them running the football to, it looks like, 31 yards, and that's what they do really well. And I think that was a key. We made them one-dimensional, and that allowed us to get the sacks. Offensively, I thought we moved the ball really well. We ran the ball extremely well, almost for 200 yards. I thought, if we don't turn the ball over in the red zone, a couple times and miss a field goal, who knows, we could have opened up a bigger lead earlier. But I thought Kevin Jennings played just like we thought he would. Super poised, made a lot of big plays. Yeah, he had the 2 interceptions. One was not a bad decision. The first one, he just threw it behind the receiver because he had a little pressure. And then the second one, probably forced it a little, guy made a good play, but just to step in as a redshirt freshman and help our team win a championship speaks volumes. And I think on special teams, they're a really solid special teams bunch, and we kind of controlled the game from a special teams standpoint. So just a great team win, and that's what we told the guys on Monday. We'll win the game because of our team, and that's what we were able to do.
Coach, you mentioned that after that first touchdown, you didn't flinch, and Kevin had the two interceptions, 3 turnovers total. You've talked a lot about his composure, but how did you help him put those behind him and play clean in the second half?
I think the one I was most proud of him for bouncing back from was the first play, which wasn't his fault. We didn't block out well enough on the front side. He was just pulling a little RPO, a little under route, and it was the right read. It should get off every time, but we messed something up, and he got hit, sack fumble, basically almost a touchdown. And for that to be your first play of the game, that could be rattling. And, we told the guys when they ran off, there's 10 seconds from the game at 7-0, and we got the ball first. That's not good. And we said, hey, we got 4 quarters to make up for it. So, and I thought the defense did an awesome job of coming over in between drives and telling them, we got your back. Like I said, the other 2 interceptions, the first interception, second turnover was an RPO. His read was correct. They did a nice job pressuring. Threw off his back foot, just threw it behind him. And then the second one, I have to see it on film if you really forced it, if the guy just made a good play. But we were going to be aggressive. We were going to play to win the game. We trusted him fully. And I think he made a whole lot more big-time plays, particularly on third downs and scrambling than the 2 mistakes.
Right here inside.
Isaiah, this one's for you. Being a Dallas guy, now that this moment is here and you guys have captured the championship, what does this mean to bring it back to the city?
It means the world to me. Being a kid from Dallas, this was my dream to bring the championship back to the city of Dallas, and it just means the world that we were able to come together as a team and do something that hasn't been done in this city for a very long time.
I'm going to add on to that. Isaiah is everything that's good about college football. He's also everything that's good about SMU. There's a reason he wears that number 23 in honor of Jerry Levias, was voted on by his team. Isaiah didn't do a whole lot on our team last year in terms of playing. He led the league as a safety in PFF in every statistical category. 2 pick sixes, had another pick today. And I respect all the decisions, but he wasn't good enough for first, second, third team, all conference or honorable mention, but he was good enough to be the MVP today. And he embodies everything about this team. It just next man up. Everybody, each week it's somebody different, and I just couldn't be more proud of how he represents SMU and college athletics.
Rhett, how surprised or impressed were you with how much y'all dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball today? Did you see that coming?
Yeah, and I want to say it humbly because that's a really good football team, but we felt like our defense matched up very well. We felt like we were healthy as we've been in a while defensively. We felt like we could stop the run. That's the key. Michael Pratt's a great player. They got good weapons, but we felt like if we could do that and get them in behind the sticks a little bit, that our pressure could get after them a little bit. And we also felt like running the football. We knew it's hard to be explosive because they do have a really good defensive front and a good scheme, but we felt like if we could stay balanced and run it enough, which we ran it 45 times, through it 33 times. Usually you run it over 40 times, that's a good recipe. That we would, over the course of 4 quarters, be able to run the football well. And obviously the quarterback helped with that. But we honestly felt like that was the strength for us, was the O-line, D-line coming into this game. that we felt like we would have the edge. Unfortunately, we were right.
Isaiah, I believe you're the first defensive MVP in this conference championship game's history. As somebody who was here when the defense needed improvement, what's it mean that the unit was solidified with that trophy that you got today?
As far as the trophy, being the first defensive player to earn it, I just want to give all thanks to God, man. I feel like I've been through a lot, and God has stayed with me. I trusted in Him. I just worked hard, so I appreciate that, man. And as far as the defense, man, we took it upon ourselves to make SMU a defensive school again and help the offense to be just as good as the offense is. So we took that pride upon ourselves to dig deep in the offseason and stay together as a team, and it paid off.
Going into this week, obviously people are thinking about the next stage of the postseason. You guys come on the road, beat a nationally ranked team in their own stadium. What statement did you make to the country and specifically to the committee when it comes to handing out postseason bowl bids?
You want me to answer that? You probably answered it better, but we believe in letting our play speak for itself. I was raised by my dad to the old John Wayne saying, walk low, talk slow, and carry a big stick. You don't got to say a lot. If you're any good, some people will talk about you. But unfortunately, every time we got questioned this year, which has been weekly, we've had to just go out and do it with our play. And now that's over. And look, I don't envy the committee and people making those decisions, but the American Conference, without question, whoever won this game should be in a New Year's Six bowl. And Tulane's a phenomenal team. They don't care what I think anyways, but the facts are the facts. And look, I voted Liberty and James Madison in the top 25 this week in the coaches poll. I just didn't have them ahead of us and Tulane. I think they're excellent football teams. But we're the only one of that group that went on the road and beat a top 25 team. We're the only one in that group that went on the road and played a top 12 team. We beat a 9-3 Memphis team on the road. And what message does it say to schools moving forward as we go to a 12-team playoff if you don't even schedule a power school? You don't even schedule one. Yeah, you can play who's on your schedule, but you don't even schedule one. Why would you if just going undefeated is enough? We went out and played OU and TCU. Tulane played Ole Miss. Our league is substantially better, and we both went undefeated in the league. So I hate that I have to sit here and do this because I don't want to, but I believe in this team. We've proven that we can play with teams ranked in that top 12. We did it on the road, not even in a neutral environment, and that was week 2. We're a little bit different team now. So I hope they get rewarded. If they don't, we got the ultimate team goal of a championship, and that's what our number one goal was. But it'd be a real shame to not let, without question, who I think most people in the country believe, especially after today, is the best team from a Group of 5 conference. It's been earned, and I hope we get what we earned.
Rhett, I was going to ask a similar question. I'm curious, does style points ever come into your thinking at all?
No, we're just trying to win. That team's 11-1, 22-3. Style points,
Well, the game was so lopsided statistically.
Yeah, no, we whipped them, and I don't mean that to sound I got a ton of respect. We played really, really well for 4 quarters. If we don't let them strip sack, fumble, score in the first play, and throw 2 picks in the red zone and miss a field goal, but it shouldn't be. When we beat a really good football team in their home stadium, no offense, those other people hadn't played that team. They hadn't played a team that good, not even close to that good all year. We beat 2 of them. Memphis, UTSA, Tulane, they would all win those other leagues, in my opinion. At some point, though, you play a real schedule, you should be rewarded for it. I think anybody who watched the game knows that we won, again, it's hard to say, in a fairly convincing fashion today, but that's a heck of a football team. You beat them by 1, that should matter for a whole lot more than some other things. So, and I'll say this, we did win our games in the conference by a large margin, and it's a good conference. The top 4 teams in our league, and Rice and USF have proven. Rice beat Houston, USF went to Tuscaloosa. It should be a layup. I hope we don't miss a layup.
Coach, just the defense, again, just continually came up big for you. How important was it for the pressure on Pratt? He just never really looked comfortable, and he's such a good player that was a big factor.
It was huge. I played quarterback, and if you can't set your feet very often, even when we didn't get to him for sacks, we were hitting him, we were harassing him. Like I said, I think it all started with stopping the run early in the game. As a play caller, when someone's stopping the run early, it's easy to go away from it. The flip side is after they scored and went up 7-0, we went right down the field. We missed a field goal, but we proved we were going to be able to run the ball. We split some runs. So we knew we could stay with the game plan, stay balanced on offense. And it was pretty apparent probably midway through the second quarter, if we would just quit turning the ball over in the red zone and shooting ourselves in the foot, we would grind out some possessions that we'd score and just play to our defense. And like Isaiah said, it's pretty cool to win our first outright conference championship since 82 and our first championship of any kind since 84 on the shoulders of our defense, if you really think about what our reputation's been the last decade. So, true team win, could be more proud of it.
Isaiah, you said, your faith, glory to God. How has your faith helped you as a player?
Anybody that knows me knows how big I am on God. With everything I've been through with injuries and just everything I've been through in the last year, it was God that got me through it. Without him, I couldn't have made it through everything, and I wouldn't be here where I am today, being able to help make plays and help my team win. So my faith is everything to me. God is everything to me.
Coach, after missing his first field goal in time, Colin Rogers scored the last 12 points. How big is it for someone to do that in a championship game when the points are?
It's big for him because he's missed more field goals this year than we thought. He thought. But the mental component of the game for him has really gone up a tick this year. Last year he made everything unless it was over 50 yards and he missed it. But he had a really good freshman year. And this year, especially in the first 3 or 4 games, he missed some kicks he didn't normally miss. But then he just kept making big kicks and big moments. I think of Rice, I think of at Memphis, and then obviously, like you mentioned today, we believe in him. Even though he missed that first one, we just kept sending him out there. And obviously it was a huge part in us winning today.
A lot of times people evaluate teams in comparison to previous seasons. But Coach, you mentioned you went up on the road to Oklahoma in week 2. So for both of you, when you think about the team that first assembled in August and the team that just walked off the field here today, where's the biggest growth or development in this team over the course of this season?
The word team. We became a team as the season went along. When things got hard, we didn't point fingers, we didn't go against each other, we stayed together as a team. And every week we got closer and closer and closer, and that's how we got better and better as the season went on.
Yeah, I'll just agree with everything he said. It's really hard. Tulane's done it. It's hard to sustain success week in, week out, to get up every week in conference. And what they've done the last 9 weeks, true team.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've talked about the teams you've been around that have been able to do special things like this throughout the season. Did you have now that you guys have gotten it, did you know early in the season or in fall camp that you had a really good shot at accomplishing this? And what's the journey for you like as you go through this entire season and get the extension and then also, to capture the win?
I haven't allowed myself to sit before today and think about those things, and clearly I haven't yet, so I don't know how good the answer will be, but I felt like, and I said this a little bit at the press conference yesterday, we assembled our staff went out and assembled a really good roster. A lot of guys like Isaiah that were returning, and then a lot of incoming guys. When you had 16 freshmen, 25 transfers, which means we have 44 guys returning, that's just the scholarship guys. We have a lot of great walk-ons. We felt like the talent upgrade was there, on defense specifically, but everywhere. But that's also a lot of new people. And how are you going to become a true team? Defensively, we play a lot of guys. That's why nobody's a stat monster. But it's because we got a lot of stat dudes. A lot of guys play. We stayed healthy and fresh throughout the year. Offensively, getting a receiver, at running back, and on and on. So, yeah, I felt like going into fall camp, we had a real shot if we stayed healthy and our young quarterbacks developed. And I thought what Preston did throughout the year was incredible. I thought you saw Kevin tonight. But we knew, at least I knew, after Oklahoma, I knew, okay, because the moment wasn't too big. We went on the road. Our guys were ticked we didn't win the game. I mean, in some ways we outplayed them in a lot of ways, and we just didn't finish the last 12 minutes. And but they gave us a lot of confidence, specifically on defense, because that's a heck of an offense at OU. And for us to hold them down the way we did, and then we moved the ball offensively, we just didn't finish drives. And so I think coming out of that, we had confidence. And then we got into conference, and when you get a few wins, then the momentum just continues, and you accomplish confidence, and it builds and builds, and you get on a roll.
I'll take the last one in front.
Brett, you and Casey and others talked about how confident and relaxed Kevin plays and practices. I'm curious, how, after that first wild, wacky play, what was the conversation like? How did he react on the sideline right after? What went down there?
He was great. He ran right off the field, and I just said, "Are you okay?" Because, I mean, he got hit in his arm. And I'm going, 7 points is not good, but him being hurt would be really bad. And he said, "No, I'm good." I said, "Okay, well, that wasn't your fault." He goes, "I know." I said, "You made a good read. About to get the ball back. Let's go." And, you know, all we asked him to do this week is play through his teammates. And Coach Johnny Brewer did a fantastic job. He's done a great job with our quarterbacks every year, but getting him ready this week. And Kevin just did what we asked him to do, went out was Kevin, played through his teammates, and, you know, we got the result we wanted. I do want to finish by just saying that could not be more happy for our president, Dr. Gerald Turner, for getting a conference championship in football, our AD, Rick Hart, our board of trustees, our entire fan base that has been through a lot for 40 years. And, you know, one of the most unjust penalties in the history of college athletics set our program back, and it's been a long road back. But I couldn't be more proud for just everyone who went to SMU, loves SMU, grew up wanting to play at SMU, comes to games, like the entire SMU family. And then I also want to say a big thanks to the American Conference, Mike Oresco, Jamie Hickson, Brian Platt officiating, everybody, Chuck and everybody. We've been treated fantastic the entire season. They put on an incredible championship game, and we're very humbled to be, you know, the American Conference champions. And got a great conference. Look forward to seeing how our team's doing in the bowl season.
SMU, thank you.